but we don't really work on that side of the swivel too much. So our stop is usually set here.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can pull these plugs, you can rotate it as far as you need to depending on your situation.
So there are a few companies out there that make this type of system as well. I don't know if you guys have any camera systems.
We have a Keon's small little tabletop.
Okay.
I think it's about a 5-inch capacity length
Okay.
and maybe up to 2 inches in diameter, 2.5 inches in diameter.
It comes with the front light settings that you see here. You can shut those off and use it as a comparator only if you'd like to.
Which is what inherently that is out there.
Right.
Like you can get front light and you can get reflective lighting if you want. So
Yep.
There's the smallest zoom up to the largest zoom.
this is where this beats the stare it because typically it's a fixed lens on
You gotta
there.
change that
and
lens
you've got to
to get
change the
this.
lens out. Exactly.
And so when you say the largest, do you know if that's 60 times, 100
I'm not
times?
Sure the power.
Yeah, the power, does it list it in here? This one does not list it on here. Oops.
Okay. But it's big.
It does go. Yeah.
So this is 0.5 lens.
And 12 times that? Is that what?
I'm not too sure, Mike, on what the
I don't know what the power is
Oh,
on
that's
there
fine.
on this particular unit.
It's impressive just to see it as big as it got like that.
Oh, for sure.
Let's take it back down to 3. So a couple cool features that we use a lot on here is radius. So you can do things manually. So I'm going to trace this radius. You can just click the feature. It will best fit that arc.
Or similar to the Keon's.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can choose what section of that radius you want to check right there, and it's giving me about a 24th radius.
Yeah.
Angles we use quite often, especially when you're doing included angles.
Mm-hmm.
We can strike a line there. We can strike a line there. And then we can ask it to tell us what the included angle is between those 2 lines that we just chose.
And results are always over here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can
And it's the same on the Starrett.
Yep.
So it's
you can biggie size these numbers as much as you want to.
Yeah.
You can change the colors of all your different things if you want to. If you're checking different features, you want them in different color, you can do that.
and this company is Winslow Engineering out of Wisconsin. They
Fond
make a few different models. They're all these tabletop units. They have a kind of a lower end. They go up to a higher end where this one has a little bit of a longer table on it.
And they install all the software, get it ready to rock and roll. And
They do, and inherently MetLogix is the M3 software is owned by MetLogix, and so they're a separate company, which is why they're able to distribute to people like Starrett and Fowler and that you can Mitutoyo, all that.
Sure.
Any of those comparators you can retrofit that software on, which is great because it's super easy to use.
You got some etching here. That's not etching.
it's called a date insert, or in this case, recycle insert. So it's in a plastic injection mold. So you see a part that's
Neat.
got a recycle on it. That
Comes from
gives it
that.
that
That's
impression.
cool. I wonder why it was backwards. Just to kind of give a view of what that looks like. Do you guys measure the font?
We do, but it's very difficult.
Okay. So this, get in there pretty good. You're able to change your light settings. There's
Yeah.
2 separate rings inside of here.
Yep.
So if you ever have glare, you can shut off a section.
Very nice. Yeah, so that's exactly what we would do is orientate it, which would be a little more difficult than you just did.
So I do
and
feel
then
like
measure from-
the reason why I wanted to show you this, and especially I did happen to do a little bit of research on what your
Okay.
company does, and so I was just trying to get some background before you showed up. I did see that your parts are a little different than ours, which is where I do feel like a camera system like this could be beneficial for you over what a Starrett could provide. The Starrett unit is great, but because it is just a tabletop unit and it is essentially a comparator, I think that it could limit you on what you're able to measure. So
Excuse me, here you're able to measure concentricity, run out.
Oh, you could if you checked in a few places on this.
yeah,
But otherwise, our runout is being checked on a laser mic
yeah, we
or our
typically
comparator.
yeah.
But right here, you can get your wall thickness. You could have the. So you just got it. On this one, you have to, whatever you change on the zoom here, you have to manually change on the screen too.
Okay.
But for this, I can click your circle, and it will tell me what your diameter is of that.
234 points, and it come up with 570 and 4 tenths.
And
Yeah.
then I can click your OD. Excuse me.
And they have some newer features in the software that we just haven't paid for the upgrade yet.
Mhm.
It's a reasonable price. I think the last time we did it was like $500. I think it's about $1,000 to upgrade the software now.
Do you know what the system practical cost is?
So they can be as reasonable. I say reasonable. They can be as low as that 25 to 30,000 range right off the bat, and you can have them outfitted to be about as expensive as 55, 60. So
We were looking at around 80 for the stereo with the bells and whistles.
okay,
That's
So-
a 400 series.
right. It's larger.
The rotary attachment,
Okay,
vertical, horizontal.
was that any CNC movement?
Yes.
Okay, that's where that
Yeah,
was like.
that's got CAD data you can bring
Okay, so
in.
this has no CNC movement. It's fully manual. You can bring CAD data. You can network it. You can store images. You can store programs. It's very robust in its capability. We typically use it for individual inspection again because, like you, we're measuring 1,000 different types of parts all the time, and so. Yeah, it really just depends on what you're after. Was the unit that they brought in, was that a CNC unit? Okay. I would challenge them if they wanted to do that again. I know that Craig Smith from Trilogy or Triology, however you want to say it, they were willing to come in and let us kind of do it for about a day. I always think it's super important to have all that stuff prepped. Send them some, mock prints, if you will, or probably be like, hey, go ahead and prepare this because what we'd like to do is see if this is something that's feasible. If you're making, 1,000 of these parts a week and that's a repeat order and you're coming back in constantly, it's a big benefit to be able to load a program or load something that's going to go back and repeat. Most of your softwares out there will do that. We have another type of unit in here, and it's called the PG1000. It's made by PG Inspection Technologies. They're also out of Wisconsin. They're literally like 500 miles apart, and they make the same type deal. A lot of the guys prefer those units. We've got 3 of them in the plant right here. And we've got 1 over at the West plant. We have 2 of these Winslows at the other plant, 1 of them at our West Coast facility where Matt's at. So we have a good relationship with both. They all do great. Zoller makes another one of these tabletop units, and that's in Ann Arbor, so it's a short hop, skip, and a jump. They've got this stuff right in the showroom. You can always go look at that stuff too. I think they all have their benefits. They're all right around the same price. I don't think anybody has a better price point than the other one. And Zoller's nice because they're right in Ann Arbor.
Sure.
And they're a little bit bigger. They have a little bit more reach. Guys at PG Inspection, their customer service is top notch. I recommend them to anyone. They're really great guys. I can obviously pass all this information on, and instead of just spouting it off, I can put it in an email and send you some contacts.
The accuracy, I got 23.2 for your thickness there, and I got 23.5 with my mics here. 3/10 difference.
Very good,
Never checked your tool before.
Yeah. Mics are off, huh?
There you go. So,
When's the last time those been calibrated?
This morning.
yeah.